End up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, have me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I'm a cop of
Yo, welcome back. I got the wrong screen up, of course, to another episode of the Epic Podcast. We're in the house. It's just me and Jared right now. Justin's still doing work, and now Ike's doing work also. So they both tied up at work. I'm sure Justin will be in the comments though. Feel free to interact with him, and Isaac should be on a little later. So we'll see. If not, I'm sure he'll join in the comments also, man. But how was your sports weekend, man?
Man, pretty good. Shit.
It's
LeBron got
always
the
good to hear
dub.
coming from you when you say pretty good.
I mean, can't ask for better, really. LeBron got the dub.
Yeah,
Bengals got the big dub.
yeah,
I mean, shit.
yeah. That sounds like
All I
good
can
week
really
for
ask
you.
for it.
Me on the opposite hand, Pacers lost, Colts lost. So,
I'm sorry that had to. Yeah,
to the other two teams,
it's just how I feel.
yeah,
I ain't that guy, but
yeah, I
happen
know.
to fall that way. But it's all good. It's plenty of games.
Yeah. It's supposed to happen like that. Okay, I had to check. We streaming live on Instagram, so it may look weird on Instagram because
Put up
they do.
IG.
Yeah, they do portrait. I haven't set the scene up for portrait yet, but I will try to find something that looks appealing.
Slacking, my brother.
Well, it's kind of difficult
Oh,
to have landscape and something to show in landscape and portrait. So we'll figure it out though by next week. But yeah, man, let's jump into it, man. We're gonna kick this thing off with the in season tournament, man. Talk a little NBA, man. Like you said, Lakers beat the Pacers 123 to 109. LeBron wins the first in season tournament MVP, which I believe he deserved throughout the whole tournament. Lakers didn't lose. And he was the most consistent, even though Anthony Davis in the final game was
went
great.
crazy,
But I
crazy.
think the MVP is for the whole tournament. So, and I think LeBron was probably the most consistent, definitely on the Lakers, nonetheless.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. Initially I'm like, oh, AD got this MVP sold up, but then afterwards they said, oh, that's for the whole tournament. That kind of changes some things.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too. I'm like, man, dang, AD about to gonna take the MVP award, the
That's gonna
first
be his
one for
first.
LeBron, right?
Yeah. People was ready for that though.
Man, they'd have been mad.
Oh man, that would have been something. Oh my God,
They would have been hot.
that would have been something had they, oh man. But
But I heard Silverman like precisely. He said for the whole tournament, and when he said that,
I was like, okay.
okay, yeah. So, yeah, now, but other NBA news, man. I didn't put a banner up for it, but you brought it to my attention, man. Draymond, they just announced it. It just literally popped up on my phone, and you just told me. Suspended indefinitely, so that's the rest of the season. And then
No, no,
he
no, no. That don't necessarily mean the rest of the season. That just means that we ain't got no number for you yet. So it could be 10 games, could be 15, could be
But
the rest
I've
of the season.
I've never seen it definitely, and then they put like a number behind it because like usually they give you a number. Like I think about the Pacers brawl because that was like probably the craziest amount of like suspensions and a situation like that. There was no indefinitely's. They were just putting out. They just threw out numbers. It took them a long time to figure it out, but they start throwing out numbers. And you're right. It may not be rest of the season, but it's probably gonna be a long time.
I doubt it's the rest of the season. I think John Morant, the first time he got suspended, he was out indefinitely until they came. I just don't think that
But I think that was like pending an investigation because they wanted to make
and I think
sure,
that's what
you
this
know,
is. They probably want to interview some guys. They probably want to interview the refs to see if anything was said between him and Nurkic before. They
right,
probably want
right.
to talk to Nurkic. They probably want to talk to the bench because Warriors bench was right there. It just I don't I mean I don't how do you what do you put on it after 24 hours?
I look at it. That's kind of true too.
I can't even tell you what that even is
I
worth.
think he's done more egregious things to people and not get
Man, but I
suspended for
think
multiple
also
games.
they stack on top of each other too. Like
That's true.
so, behavior when you deciding on behavior, you got to take into consideration
History.
the past. Yeah, you have to. I mean, when you're giving MVP award, you can't say, "Oh well, last season he did X Y Z." Now that's just. But when you're disciplining, you have to do that based on prior history. And his history just this year alone, he's wild.
Yeah,
But if you
yeah,
add
it's been
in
tough.
last year and the prior, come on, man, like you've already choked the guy that was just OC, like it was literally
Yeah,
unnecessary. You didn't do anything. You didn't de-escalate anything.
at all.
And that was what 4 weeks ago. Was it even that long? It was
Yeah, it
sometime.
was a couple weeks ago.
That's
It was
crazy.
last month sometime.
And then you punch this guy, and then it's like it made it worse. I think I didn't mean to do it. What were you trying to do then?
Yeah,
Sell
yeah,
the
I
foul. I
agree.
mean, sell the foul. You rip your hands up, maybe, but you don't just 80s hurt.
Yeah, not a three and not a 360 either. Like,
Yeah, that's nuts.
yeah, like you pull your arm, you may yank your arm away. But like to do a full 360, like
Yeah,
you,
that's
you don't
crazy.
have to do all that. It's extra. So yeah, I guess we'll wait and see how that pan out. As far as his the time, but I look at like somebody like John Moran and what he got. You know, what I mean, with multiple offenses, and we're talking about firearms and inappropriate, social media use.
Right.
You think about Ron Artest and what he went through. Even you like somebody like Rasheed Wallace,
Yep.
you know what I mean, who was just one of those guys, and he was intentional. If Rasheed came after you, he was intentional.
Yeah.
He didn't
Sure.
really care. So I just look at that like that, and then you put Draymond up with it, and yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough though. I think they may try to make an example out of him just cause, like you said, of his history, and be like, all right, look, we've let you slide with 1 games, 2 games, 3 games here. Like, we're gonna give you double digit games. You know what I mean? Kind of sit you down, let you reassess, and then go back at it.
I think that I don't even know. I mean, I'm not even quite sure it would be considered making an example because nobody's nearly even a tenth of as wild as Draymond is.
That's
Like at
true.
this point, like
But I mean,
he's
also,
like
I mean,
way out here. Like making an example is not even real because nobody's even like it's.
yeah. But I think make an example. When I say make an example, I'm thinking in a way of like, um, hey, look, we ain't Tyler. We're making an example out of him in a way to like for him, not like
Mm-hmm.
for like other people who are in the same area as him. No, we're as a league gonna make an example out of him to show everybody that we're not tolerating this behavior. We're not just gonna let this go because Draymond is Draymond, and whenever something like this happens, that's his go to. Hey, this is me. You know what I mean?
He's
I'm gonna
probably
play.
like,
This is how I
oh,
play basketball. This is how I am. And anybody who knows me know that I don't mean no harm. I just play hard. I feel like that's his go-to, and the NBA has kind of accepted that. But if you talk to these guys, and like of course, you go on the internet, they're showing all the clips of all the random plays that have happened with him and interactions. From kicks in the nuts to elbows to the head to all the random stuff to step on and all these things that's happened. It's kind of like if this is you, then what message are we sending to the other players or younger players or these guys that may be borderline?
right.
So I say yeah, make an example out of him for him, and kind of show that like we're not that league anymore. How it used to be, we're not that league, and we're not going back to that. And that's not the type of persona we want to put out there. As a league, we just
Right.
don't want to do it. So, but yeah. Oh, we got comments. Ike said Ja was suspended indefinitely. Okay, and he said she's rep was because he went after refs, not players. That's true too.
Yeah.
Like I said, Rasheed really didn't care. You're absolutely right, Ike. Yeah, Rasheed was that guy. He didn't care. He didn't care if it was players, refs, coaches. You even look at a guy like Latrell Sprewell, who was like one of them borderline guys. Um, Better than Draymond, but borderline as far as his activity. Oh, we got Ike in here. We got him in there. Let's get him in here. Can you hear us, Ike? You there? You there?
You're fired from the
I'm
comments.
I'm fired from the comment. Hey man, look, man. It's hard to manage everything, man. I appreciate you coming back and handling things for us, man. Hey.
Whole notifications right there in your face, and you just
Man, I know. I'm a horrible human. But what do you got to say about the Draymond thing, man? What do you think?
Look, man. I got a question for y'all, right? So, I'm sure you've accidentally hit somebody, right?
Yes.
In life at one point. How did you react to that?
Kind of empathetically, like I apologize, like my bad, like I didn't mean to do it. I immediately went over to the person. Yes, I immediately went over to the person and said, "Hey man, my bad. You cool?" Like that's just what happens when accidents.
Did you
happen.
stand over this nigga like you just tombstoned him? Like you just
No.
put him
No.
in the people's elbow?
And I also pulled back as soon as I felt I didn't follow
Yes,
through with
yes,
it.
I know. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's terrible, and it's really, it makes it worse that he's trying to lie about it, and he's trying to for some reason he just has to have this tough guy mentality. And I don't understand what. Well, do you think have I ever apologized in the past, Draymond? You're a fucking idiot. Like, so to me that doesn't even say anything. Like, just stop lying. You clearly hit the guy on purpose, and you followed through. You didn't, like you said, you stood over him like he, pal drived him or something. You didn't help him up. You didn't check on him. You didn't do any of that. Like, you clearly hit him, and you
Didn't
deserve
say a
whatever.
word to him at all, bro.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
you
exactly,
deserve. Yeah,
While
yeah,
he was on the court.
exactly. You deserve whatever comes your way, sir, and more. It is
yeah.
what it is.
I
And the
agree.
apology, and it was piss poor. Like
Yeah.
you start your apology with, "I will never apologize, but I'm gonna say sorry to
Right.
you." Like,
Yeah.
nah, bro,
Basically
you
trying to
not
make.
sorry. You didn't sound
Yeah.
contrite at all. You knew you was about to get to suspension,
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say. I
you
think
was
he
just
knew it was gonna be
you
a
were trying to
repercussion for
ease the
this one.
blow.
Yeah,
I've never seen somebody apologize by trying to make themselves feel hard. Like, what? What?
true too.
That's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. What he
Yo,
did was ridiculous. His game, his skill level is ridiculous. Like, his on play statistical production is ridiculous. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
what he said was the epitome of sorry, not sorry.
Yes. And I think,
That's
and
what it
you look
felt
at
like to me.
Golden State right now, not performing well, just as a team. Um, for what you pay Draymond, you can bring in a third player to do what he does and more. Um, there's plenty of them out there, hustle guys. You know what I mean? That shoot corner threes, and you know what I mean. That's what I'm saying. They can handle the ball. Like you can find a small forward to do that. Um, you know, if necessary. So,
I agree.
all right. Moving right along then. I'm about to be mad. So
We'll keep this brief, Ike.
we'll very much keep this brief. First off, he just hates the names of the random bows. So I kind of, when I was putting this together, I was thinking about him the whole time because one time on our show when it was me and him, I did this, and he went like super angry
Man,
at me, like
there's
bro, like this
Oh,
don't matter. Like I
don't
don't
stop
give,
sitting showing me the goddamn. I suck my thumb bowl, bro.
the
What the
Pop
fuck these
Tarts
bowls?
Bowl
Like
is the
why? Why do they
craziest.
exist?
bro.
That's the craziest one ever. Pop
bro.
Tarts Bowl is crazy.
The
Like,
Yes,
I
because
cut my
well,
grass with
let's see.
scissors bowl. It's like,
man,
They
there's
are
no way I'm accepting a bid to the Pop Tarts Bowl. There's no way. I'm nah,
because it's sponsors, bro. Like they can make it's
bro.
extremely cheap from what I heard to get your name on a bowl as a sponsor. Uh, so you
Epic
got
Podcast Bowl coming soon.
man. I don't know. Be great publicity,
The Pop
but
bro,
Tarts Bowl is
we gotta
crazy.
have as much
I'm not.
money as some of these cats, bro.
man, somewhere. So you got the Myrtle Beach Bowl, and this is just this week. So up until Tuesday, you got the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Cricket Bowl, New Orleans Bowl, Mexico Cure Bowl. Uh, it's elitist. The New Mexico Bowl. You got the L.A. Bowl, the Independence Bowl, famous Toastery Bowl. Have no idea
That's
what that is.
ridiculous.
In the Frisco Bowl. So these are all these random bowls that's gonna be this week. No real top teams playing. You got UCLA and Boise State. That's the LA Bowl. You got Texas Tech and Cal in the Independence Bowl. But as I'm looking, I mean Howard and Florida A&M. That's a Celebration Bowl.
What Kobe say? Soft.
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
was
saying.
actually
Like
gonna
I
go to
don't.
that one, but
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Look,
I'm just trying to see Western Kentucky Old Dominion. That's the Toastery Bowl. Miami of Ohio and Appalachian State. That's the Mexico Cure Bowl.
oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. There's nobody there. Like I said, if anything, you go see the Howard and Florida A&M.
Shit, I ain't watching that either.
soft
No,
shell,
I'm just
hard
saying.
shell
Shout
I'm
out,
just
taco
saying the
bowl.
game,
shout
like
out to
well, because it's
HBCUs, but I will not be
yes,
tuning in.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. If anything, and far as star power, maybe the UCLA Boise State. That's probably the best one out of all these. Yeah, the rest of them is tough.
Yeah. Not watching any of them. They actually should defund these bowl games. I mean,
A
I
lot,
know it's all about money.
a lot of them.
They don't make much sense to me.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
with
they
you.
just need to go ahead and get rid of them.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
They won't though. But
this,
No, they
the
won't.
celebration bowl I'm cool with because it's not about the game. Like I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
go
yeah.
yeah,
since
yeah,
they had
for
tickets,
sure, for
but
sure,
I
for
got
sure.
stuff to do. But look, man, we looking at the Tostitos dip your chip bowl. Like, bro, why'd you bring these on here? You just wanted to piss
I
me
just had to do it. I just had to say something college football.
off.
Something.
I mean, I would even say the
No,
top 20
you
teams to
didn't.
play in the bowl. I mean, you don't need 50 bowl games. Like, come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like, make like 10. I mean, and then like with the playoffs coming up, you got a chance to name all those. But I would just have the playoff, and I would maybe have like 10 bowl games outside of the playoffs.
Oh,
That's
it gets worse. It gets worse next week. Don't worry. I'm gonna do this again just
oh
because I
shit.
know you guys hate it.
Yeah,
That's fine. I
defund the
ain't gonna be.
bowls. Let's keep it moving.
All right. Let's jump into the grown man league where we'll have a lot more to talk about. Let's start off with the power rankings before we go anywhere else. A lot of things unchanged, man. Outside of San Francisco still being number one and Baltimore being number two. Well, Baltimore did move up. So we got San Fran at one. They're the only team so far that's clinched a playoff spot. You got Baltimore at two. Dallas moves up into the top three. Dallas been hanging around
For sure.
5, 6, 7 most of the season, so they jump up into the top three with their win over Philly. Philly just drops down 1-4.
Hey, it's looking spooky for Philly. That
Hey,
somebody's been trying to say.
hey, you have been saying,
I
you have
just,
been
and
saying,
I'm still not saying that Philly's trash. Like some people
no,
misconstrued what I
no.
was saying for trying to discredit them. I'm
We're
not
just
trying to
talking about their
discredit them.
schedule and
I'm
who they
just
play.
saying I would like to see them to play some of the best teams in the league. Now they have. They're still 10-3. They beat some. They have beat some good teams. But I'm just saying. I just want to see what they were talking about. Against some of the league's best. And now we're starting to see, and these past two games haven't really even been close. So
Yeah, I also
that's
think
all I'm saying.
I think the league to itself is a lot closer. Once we talk about the playoffs later on, like the rankings, like we'll see, of course. But yeah, nah, Philly have they've been taking on the chin the past 2 weeks. From San Fran, which they were owed that, and then Dallas, which shoot they kind of owed that too because they've been owning Dallas the past
Hmm.
couple of years too. So Dallas kind of getting their look back.
And you think about
Miami,
the first game, the Dallas came down to the nitty gritty. So it wasn't
yeah,
like that was just a wash.
Yeah,
Like so,
yeah. It was still close, but Dallas just been coming out on the wrong end of that. Just period. You know what I mean? As far as even playoff position, Philly's kind of been dominant here lately, which Dallas ain't really did nothing in 35 years, but
Man, I
whatever.
hope they win the
Philly still
Super
has
Bowl, bro.
the easier schedule to finish the
Yeah,
season,
that's what I'm
so
about to say. Yeah,
they
to finish
still
the
have the
season.
upper hand.
Yeah, they
Uh,
do. They definitely should easily win their last four. I think
yeah,
they played the Giants twice.
Which may not be a pushover now, as we seen from last
Well,
night.
yeah,
We
they've
thought
definitely
Green
been
Bay was
better.
going, you know what I mean? Green Bay was playing good ball, like Jordan Love. They were playing real good.
They have.
And
They have.
and you know, you run into a buzzsaw, the New York
I mean, I
Giants.
the
can't
thing I
see the
would
Eagles
say,
losing to the Giants, but anything can happen clearly. So
the thing I would say about that game is the Giants have been better on the ground, which is not Philly's weakness. Like the team, I mean, we busted Philly, Dallas busted Philly. It was in the air, so the Giants still can't pass the ball for shit. So that still works in their favor. I mean, they still
And with a
should
rookie quarterback, a third string
relatively,
rookie quarterback
yeah,
at that.
relatively easily beat the Giants, unless I mean, it could be any given Sunday, but I don't necessarily see them losing to the Giants.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, like now though, like with the way the NFL has been this year, I'm just gonna say the NFL in the whole. The way it's been this year has been super weird. Like you look at a KC team, speaking of ranked six now, you know what I mean? Went from one to two to four to now six. It's like
hell, they just a game
they're,
above
they're,
you, our team, and my
they're,
team, and your team, Vernon.
they're barely hanging on, you know what I mean?
Shit.
Granted, there's a lot to go into that too with blown calls. We could like three games is blown calls in the fourth quarter at the end of the game that could have possibly decided those games. And then a bunch of drop balls, like what I mean, young receivers being young
Pause.
receivers. Um, so
Trap
you
balls.
can go down that rabbit hole with them. Miami, what do we think about Miami? They're at 5. They're right there in the middle of the top 10.
Man, they don't really have any good wins against good teams either.
Okay,
Like
And they've
I
got a
can't
tough
even
schedule as well.
and they just lost to the
the
Titans.
Titans, bro.
Like
That's nasty. That
And they
wasn't
were
they
up
were,
3 minutes left by two
they were
touchdowns.
yeah,
yeah.
first team ever to lose a game being up 14 with that much time left.
I mean,
Um,
I'm looking at their schedule. Their best win is
the
at the
Chargers.
Chargers, the
That's
first
what I'm
game.
about to say. The Chargers early in
Yeah.
the season.
That's crazy. Well, I guess now with everything considered, their best win
You
would be
can maybe
against
say the
the
Broncos.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was just
Well.
saying.
Yeah.
At this
Well.
point, it would have been the Broncos, but like in the grand scope of everything, like
But if
going
they
in,
played the Broncos next week, they're not putting up 70
and there's no guarantee that they're even gonna win.
or win. Yeah, because that Bronco team is
These
rolling.
cats haven't beat any. Their wins are as follows: Chargers, Patriots, Broncos, Giants, Cardinals, Patriots again, Las Vegas, Jets, Washington, and that's it. I
Yeah.
mean, they
Yeah.
haven't even beat a on the verge team.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Denver, but at that point in the season, Denver
They
was
wasn't. Yeah.
yeah.
Denver
Denver
was
was
trash.
dead.
I mean, that was
They
what
were dead
And
at that point.
that was week
on
3.
top of that, they could give up the division to the Bills. They've
Very
got
much.
a really
They
tough
deserve to
schedule
lose
as
Yep.
the
well
division at this point.
to end the
Wait a
season.
minute. But
So I
speaking
mean,
of the Bills, do the Bills deserve this division? Like
Nah, but dude, the Dolphins
they're
in the
they're, they're
season.
probably they're at this point in the season. They're probably equally as bad.
Let me just say this since I got the Dolphins still pulled up. The Dolphins play the Jets next, which they end the season home against the Cowboys, at the Ravens, home against the Buffalo Bills. It might get a little spooky for the Dolphins for real. 'Cause
Yeah.
if they
Dolphins,
lose those three, which they have a very good chance of losing, they looking at what 10-7, and what
that
is
game
They
against the
need.
Bills could decide the division.
I'm about to say they need three of those.
they're not getting 3.
They
They
need.
might
I'm just saying
finish
they need
2.
three. I don't know if they're gonna get
That's
three, but they
That's
need
tough.
three. In the AFC, especially as close as it is, man, we're gonna move on with these power rankings. We're gonna talk about this though.
The Bills got Dallas at the Chargers, New England, and then Miami.
See,
So I
yeah.
can definitely see that coming down to that
To
that
that
week,
Miami, that last game. Yep.
week 18 matchup. Yes,
We
sir.
got Detroit
oh
at
yeah.
7. What do we think about Detroit, man? They was rolling early. They kind of been a roller
No
coaster
idea.
here lately.
No idea.
No idea. What about
I have
NFC
no
North?
words for Detroit.
You like anything
I think
brewing up in
Denver.
the
I think
North?
I think Detroit still has that division. I mean, I
Okay.
can't see that changing much, but as far as his powerhouse that everybody considered the Lions earlier on in the season, which they were, you know, yeah, they were playing like
They're
it.
on their way to a first round exit.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with
I
that.
don't know that there's anybody in the playoffs sitting right now, the playoff end of the day. I don't know who they would play, but I don't care. I think they would lose to every team that's a current playoff contender.
That's the
Because
current
every
playoff.
team is a current playoff contender is trending upwards, and they
Yeah,
are
because
at
the
best
NFC is
I
a
agree
little
staggered.
with
too
that.
tough. Because what if you end up having to play a Cowboys round one, or obviously y'all probably gonna get the bye, so I'm not gonna mention the 49ers. But if you have to play a Cowboys in the first round, or if you have to play a Eagles in the first round, yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah,
tough.
Lions is out of there in my estimation. But I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. But yeah, it's
To and to round out the top 10, we got Cleveland at 8, Jacksonville at 9, and Buffalo at 10. Um, Not
man.
mad about any of those. Definitely not sold on any of them. Those three, because we got quarterback issues. Really, well, except Jacksonville. Josh Allen probably been as the most consistent, inconsistent. And then, of course, Joe Flacco. Were we really putting any weight on Joe Flacco, especially with the North as close as it is and
He's
competitive
been
as it is?
he's been
Like,
doing his job.
And
but
am
will
I?
it fizzle
Yeah.
out?
Here's the thing.
Probably,
Here's the thing
probably.
about Flacco. He has absolutely no pressure.
No pressure.
He
Yeah,
is
Yep.
not required to perform well. Like he's just there.
that's
And
true.
that's what makes Flacco dangerous. Like I bet Flacco would get 2 touchdowns last week. It was an easy bet because he has no pressure. Like he's not expected to lead that team to victory. He's
That's true.
expected to make the passes and rely on the defense. Now, when he was kind of falling off, like people was like, "Oh, Flacco's supposed to be good." Well, when you go in, you ain't got no pressure on you. It makes the game a lot easier. So
I
Right.
agree with that.
until somebody starts like to put pressure on him, honestly, I'm up on Cleveland at this point because he has the defense to back him up.
Okay. Hey,
So all he got to do is just not fuck up.
hey, that makes a million percent. All right, so let's talk our shit then, real quick, man. Of course, I ain't got shit to talk, but Niners, y'all get a important win over the Seahawks, man. Anything take away from that game, man? Y'all,
Playoffs, that's all that mattered to me. We clinched. Like we in
yeah,
there. There's nothing nobody can do at this point. Like nobody expected us to lose. Although I do have to give it to Drew Lock. Like he looked really well for most of the game. Did I expect them to win? At no point, no. But where's Justin at, man? I need that man back on here because all that Seahawks talk, they not even second in the division no more. For the record,
yeah, that's right.
they are
Rams
now
passed
behind the
them.
Rams.
Yeah,
So
okay.
if you're watching this, Justin, thanks for that. I sent that motivation to the team. They wanted the bullets board, and appreciate you, sir.
Uh, and then man, we got trampled by the Bengals. We couldn't do nothing right, and they couldn't do nothing
That's
wrong.
nuts. That's nuts as fuck. I don't know how. I was watching that game. I'm just like, yo,
Yeah,
what?
we couldn't do
And then
nothing right.
one of those touchdowns was a pick six too. Like, so we hadn't done that stupid shit. Like
We couldn't run the ball
that
at
would have
all.
that could have been crazy, man. It's
We
shocking me,
couldn't
man.
no deep shots. We couldn't take no shots down the field. Nobody can get vertical. Nobody
And
can
we
get separation.
cheeks. If you can't get vertical against the Bengals, that's troubling because
So
we're weak. I
Well,
don't,
the Colts can't
man.
get vertical periods.
we had, but you know what? There are moments. Like I would agree with you, but there has been moments in critical games and critical situations where and it's crazy. It's been Alec Pierce of all people making the clutch catches, a vertical or you know what I mean, a go route or a fade. Like we couldn't get none of that. Michael Pittman, and I don't know why he was targeting Michael Pittman of all people going vertical. He's probably one of the slowest receivers we have. He has the best hands, but he's the slowest. And it was just like no separation on the go routes with him. I don't know, man. We couldn't get nothing going, man. It was just a horrible game. Defense too, like defense just looked tired. So y'all deserved it. Like 34 to
Browning,
14, y'all deserved
Browning
it.
looks good though, man.
Who?
Brownings look good the last
Oh
couple of
yeah,
games.
yes,
Well,
yes.
Browning.
he's
Yeah.
But
balling.
again, another one. No pressure. There's no pressure. Like
Yeah,
everybody,
man,
and
no
even
pressure.
you can hear it. You can hear it in Jared's voice. Everybody, once Burrow went down, the Bengals fans were like, okay, we're gonna mail this one in.
I
Whatever
was like
happens,
that
happens.
before he went down, but no,
Anyway,
the team is not
That boy
good.
out there.
But see, and it kind of like some people like feel good when
ah,
something that they say happens actually comes to fruition. But y'all been hearing me talk about Chase Brown all year, right? Our backup running back that hadn't been getting no play, right? He
mhm,
finally gets some
And
touches and
then
he's balling. Like
the
it's
boy
not
looked good last. Yeah,
he did.
it's not like I don't understand why the Bengals just think everything is so hard. Like it's not. That's out of bounds. Ooh, that's not a hard concept. You draft a guy,
yeah.
fucking play him. Like what are you
Yeah,
doing?
I agree.
And it's like Mixon's clearly not that
Browning out here
speedy
looking like Joe
guy.
Burrow light.
Man, like I don't know. Maybe one of these days we'll figure it out. Maybe not. But I mean, little old Jared got it right again. Like play the fucking rookie. I know he's been banged up a little bit this year, but he wasn't banged up to start the season. And you know when we were up in Cleveland getting like a grand total of 100 yards the first weekend, he could have been getting some touches, but we decided not to, and we got what we got. So play the
Yeah,
rookie. You draft him for a reason. Play him, and he's been balling. Jake Browning's been balling. Chase Brown has been balling. Play him.
you can't argue with
Yeah,
that. And
man.
then the Ravens, man, they won a dogfight against the Rams, man. Fourth quarter punt return, like crazy. And I think that's his fourth. The fourth time he's done that.
Oh,
Punt
was that
return
overtime or
TD.
the fourth quarter?
I think. I think that's only the fourth time that a punt return has been
Uh,
returned in the fourth quarter to win a game. I'm
uh,
sorry, not him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean him.
Okay,
I
I
meant
was gonna
a
say,
punt return.
damn,
That's only the fourth time in like NFL history that's happened.
they've
Uh,
been winning, man, but they ain't been pretty.
but you know what though? Like they're winning the right way at the right time of the season. Because if you can win those hard close games now, like that prepares you for the playoffs, dude. Because
But
the
that's
games
true.
chances are going to be competitive. I should
That's
say most
true.
of the
But the
time.
only 3 games they lost, they were up in the fourth quarter too. So
Yeah,
you got to take that into.
that's been the Ravens all year. The Ravens haven't been closing out games, not
That's
offensively or
they're
defensively.
struggling.
They have not been closing out games. Um, and then this one, like you said, on the special teams, like I don't want to say get lucky, but because he's a great returner. But yeah, for that to be the way it ends, you got to figure out how to close games in the fourth
Facts.
quarter in the NFL. So,
But
but
do they have to worry about that in the AFC? Like who would they have to worry about that against in the AFC right now?
um,
NFC, yes. AFC, who do they got to worry about doing that against?
I mean, right now, I mean, first off, you don't know who you're gonna play. Let's just start there.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter who they're gonna play because I don't think there's anybody in the AFC that they have to worry about. Like if we don't close the game, we're gonna lose. Like the Chiefs are gonna lose it themselves. They've shown that in the last couple of weeks, or they're just not gonna be able to catch the ball. Who else would they potentially? Right, they're not worried about the
Let's
Dolphins
bring
at
it.
this
Let's just
point. The
bring it up
Dolphins are
then.
go down.
Let's go ahead and
Like
just let's get on this
who
right now.
who would they be concerned about?
So right now, you got the Ravens as the number one seed. You got Dolphins number two. You got
So
Chiefs number
no,
three. That's if they
no.
started today.
Right.
Jaguars. They usually don't relinquish leads. Uh, the Browns have the defense to hold the lead, but do they have the offense to get one? Um, Steelers, not worried about them. Colts, we actually came back and beat them in OT, but again, like we have to get a humongous lead, which our offense isn't clicking right now. The Texans possibly if they get in. Broncos, who knows? Bengals and Bills again, who knows? Um, Bengals good at blowing leads. I'm not the Bengals. The Bills are good at blowing leads anyway in the fourth quarter. They can't win fourth quarter games either. Uh, that showed in Philly. But no, I agree. It's not a lot of teams they got to worry about. Like that comes back in the fourth quarter. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, honestly, I think the Bills are playing better football than we're giving them credit for right now. And
I'm
they
just
got
talking
shit to
about the
fight
fourth
for. Now,
quarter. No,
are
I'm
they
just
going
talking
to
about
do
the
that in
fourth
the
quarter.
playoffs? I don't know, but I don't see them having to worry about anybody of that nature unless they play honestly, I would just say either us or Dallas are the only teams that I would say like you've got to be able to put up the points, and you can't relinquish or play bad in the third and fourth quarter because it's not going to bode well for you.
All right. Jared, what do you think about the Ravens having I ain't gonna say having problems, but struggling closing games in the fourth quarter?
I don't know. It's a little interesting, but I mean, I don't think it's gonna, in the grand scheme of things. I mean, they're winning the games. But I guess what we're here to do is analyze. So from an
Analytical.
analytical, yeah. Uh, sorry, I gotta
I know you eat it.
my mouth, man. Just a lifesaver.
Rude, mother.
I had to
Rude.
get some. Yeah, I had to take care of
I'm gonna
something real
bring none for the class, man.
Man, rude boy.
quick. I got some for y'all. Pause. I got some, but I mean, they winning games, and I don't think that that's going to stop. Like I said, I mean, I don't think there's anybody that's really challenging them in the conference. So I mean, we'll see. You
Okay,
win
so
some,
with
lose some. We'll see. They'll be fine.
this AFC playoff picture, like as it is now, who do you see changing? Who do you see possibly outside of division leaders, or do y'all see any division? First off, let's start there. Any division leaders y'all see changing between the Ravens, Dolphins, Chiefs, and Jaguars?
We already talked about that Dolphins joint.
I would
Yeah.
say I already said the Dolphins are on watch, so
That might be the one we need to keep a look at.
Okay.
That might be the
So you
one.
but you feel like the Ravens, Chiefs, and Jaguars are safe?
Yeah. Uh, Ravens, yes. Chiefs, I think they're safer than what the records show. But yeah, Dolphins, eh. And which one am I missing?
Jaguars.
Jags.
Jaguars.
They
Yeah,
actually got the
I
most
think they're.
teams on their heels though,
I think
with the
that I
Colts
think,
and the Texans a game
but
apart.
The Texans kind of fizzled out. I expected them to keep ascending. Like I don't know what Sunday was.
Yeah, that was
Um,
crazy. They got
but
spanked too.
they've already well achieved well above what we thought. So that could be positive in some senses. It can also be negative as well, especially when your team is young and you've already met and exceeded those expectations.
You don't know if that's their
Yeah,
you know what I
like that
mean
might
that thing
kind
could
of
be
be
their
in their
ceiling.
heads and kind of
Yeah.
and it all depends on who the rest of the opponents are too. So we'd have to really like look at who Jacksonville got left against who the Texans got left, and then see what I mean the Colts too, like who the Colts got left, and see what actually makes sense as far as who's gonna win
Well,
what.
you
But
always know it's gonna be some division games left. That's just
as long as
always how they
as long as
drum it up.
I feel like with there being division games left, I think everybody's schedule is set up to where the last one or two games is. Shit, I think our first three out of four was division games. Yeah, that sucked. So we was behind the eight ball from the get go. But I think every team ends with at least one or two division games to end the season. So I mean, it's definitely it's getting interesting, and like I'm looking forward to seeing how it unfolds.
Yeah. Because like you said, I mean, it'll be tough for the Bengals to come in and take. Or well, no, you got the Browns too. The Ravens will have to completely fall off the map
Oh yeah, for sure.
for
They
the
damn near
Browns.
would
For
have
the
to
Browns and
lose.
the they have to lose out pretty much.
they
I
would
think you
have
know
to
what.
essentially lose out, and I think the only tough game they got is us.
Yeah. Um.
Well, I mean, if you want to consider Jacksonville, they have Jacksonville, us, Miami, Pittsburgh. Jacksonville's easily one of those. We're going to be the toughest game. We already said we don't really think that they're going to beat Miami, and I mean, I don't see them losing against Pittsburgh, at this point. So I don't necessarily see a scenario where anybody from the division is going to catch them.
Okay.
If they win two more games, they clinch. If I'm thinking
Yeah,
about
but so they only need two of those four. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah, I don't. I mean, the Broncos. Like I said, the Broncos and the Chiefs are the closest right now. I mean, Jaguars, Colts, and Texans. That's pretty close too. But with all, I think them three all play each other in these final weeks, so it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. Colts own the tiebreaker over Houston though, just because we beat them early in the season already. So so that may come down to points, something weird. So yeah, but Jacksonville beat us twice, so we would our record will have to be better than theirs in order to. We can't all end with the same record, of course, but we would have to win out in order to get in. So, or to be that fourth seed. So, which I would be very happy about, especially with us losing our quarterback and just the way things have been to win the division. Like we didn't even think we weren't even thinking that was possible with our quarterback to do it with a backup, and
Mhm.
that's coming a long way. So
Hopefully, AR is taking some notes, man.
yeah, oh
Still
yeah,
getting some
yeah,
mental
yeah.
reps. Hopefully, he ain't just like chilling and relaxing. Like I do see he's still out on the field at practice,
And
like
he
doing.
has the headset on
Yep,
most of the games too. So yeah, no, absolutely.
that's important.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. To hear the calls and to see how the play unfolds, yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. Let's jump over to the NFC, man. Of course, Niners is clinched, only team to clinch right now. You got Cowboys, Lions, and Bucks, the top four seeds right now. Eagles at 10-3 is 5. Vikings at 7-6 is 6. Packers is 6-7 at 7. And on the bubble, you got the Rams at 6-7. The Seahawks at 6-7. The Falcons at 6-7. And the Saints at 6-7. That's the only reason why I did 11 teams is because the 11th team was 6-7 also. So with all of them having the same record, that can really come down. That can really change a lot of things at that 6-7 spot because everybody's within a game. Outside of the Niners, of course, like we said, who's already clinched. Cowboys, Cowboys and the Eagles. I mean, with Cowboys already beating the Eagles, they would kind of have to lose out almost, or record would have to be worse than the Eagles for the Eagles to take that second spot or to win the East. Um,
No shit, Viner.
no, I mean I'm just saying about that. I was about to ask the question like, do you think the Eagles can pull it together and reclaim the division, or
Yeah, I think it's possible
I
for sure.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know that they need to be worried. I mean, Cowboys have the tougher schedule. I mean, they
right?
got the. I
That's why
honestly
that's
think
why I'm
they're
asking. Do you think they
probably
can?
going to lose to the Bills this week. They got the Dolphins after that. I mean, the Dolphins can be hit or miss, but again, the Dolphins, where the Dolphins are strong, is uh, kind of where the Cowboys are a little bit weak, just because their corners like to kind of jump, and
Yeah,
you can beat them deep. I mean,
they're
I
not
probably still pick
disciplined
the Dolphins
corners.
that game, but they got the Lions after that,
Mm,
which depends on which Lions team show up.
that's true.
I mean, and then they got the Commanders the end of the season. Yeah, I'm not at all
Worried about
worried about that Commanders game, but those next three games are going to be crucial, and they could lose two of them, possibly at least. I don't know if they'll lose all three,
yeah.
but I don't think they're going to be the blowouts that they've been having.
No, no, they're tough though. They're definitely tough, and the Commanders in themselves, they're gonna just be playing tough anyway. They normally
Yeah,
do,
it's
especially
a
towards the end of
division
the season.
game.
Right. Um, Lions, we believe the Lions is probably safe. Vikings at 7-6, Lions at 9-4. Lions will have to completely fall off the map, and I'm sure they got a couple division games left. So I
Hey,
think
the Vikings low key been coming up, man. Didn't they
yeah,
start the season like 0-4 or some shit?
yeah, something crazy like they were
Mhm.
horrible.
Yeah,
Um,
they were going forward and beat us. Thought
yeah,
that they were going to be worse when Cousins went down and made,
Diamonds and
I think,
maintaining.
an excellent decision to bring in Dobbs. It's worked out for them.
yeah, big time, big time. So not angry at that at all, or that they're coming up. That's definitely, I mean, being number 6 right now, they're probably the safest 7-16 to put your money on. With even the Packers, like I said, they've been up and down. The Rams are surging right now too. But the Seahawks, I think they're trending down. The Falcons, who knows? They just lost to the Bucks. And the Saints, they've been treading water all season. You don't know what they are either. So I think the Vikings is probably the safest. That 7 is going to be up for grabs, I believe. The Bucks, I mean that 4, that's just horrible, dog. Like, give it to the Eagles. Like, just give it to the Eagles. Like, even if they come up with a way to say, "Hey, look, if they're within 2 or 3 something, man," but like this 6-7 being 4, blows me, bro.
Like the Vikings got the Bengals and then three straight division games: Lions, Packers, Lions. So I mean,
Yeah,
they could play their way in relatively easily,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that they'll get the Lions one of them games.
will not argue that. Especially like you said, the Lions have, on the back end of the season have been very inconsistent. So, like you said, what Lions are going to show up? They can very easily get one of them games. They can definitely get the pack. Who you said the Packers or the Bears?
They've got the Packers. So
Pack.
Bengals, Lions, Packers, Lions.
Yeah, definitely can get the Packers. Packers are gettable. Um, like I said, that seventh spot is probably the most vulnerable one in this playoff picture. Um, like I said, I mean, with the Rams and the Seahawks being behind it, the Niners and they're clawing for scraps. I see probably one of them if I had to bet on anybody, and it's probably the Rams. I probably, if I had to put a seven seed in there, I would say the Rams. Who y'all think?
Man, the Rams making the playoffs would be crazy. But I mean, I guess if Matt Stafford stays healthy, then maybe.
And with Cup and oh boy,
Yeah, Puka
Puka.
Doncic.
Uh,
Cup too.
yeah, I mean they've offensively been on fire. So
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if there's very many teams that they couldn't score enough points against. Uh, and they only play us once. We've already played them, so I mean they
yeah.
could technically win what three of the last four, and be what 10-7. So
Nine and
I
eight.
think 9-8. Yeah. So I mean I think that might be enough to get them in. It's I don't know if I have enough confidence that any of them other teams are going to get to 9, with the
I don't
exceptions
think
of
so.
maybe the Vikings.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I say I would keep the Vikings. The Vikings are probably the safest at 6. Like you said, if they get one of those Lions games and beat the Packers, they're safe at 6. And like the Rams, I believe that they can get 7. I don't think the Seahawks is trending in the right direction. The Falcons, if anything, they'll them and the Bucks will fight it out, and I don't see the Saints overthrowing either one of those teams. So
Somebody said
I'm firing
Stafford is a
myself.
walking
I
turnover.
missed this earlier.
Very, very
Yeah, I
much
missed this
true,
one earlier.
but he's gonna
And
score
Stafford
too.
is a walking turnover. Yeah,
Very
I
much
mean
true.
he's
But
gonna throw.
he's gonna score too.
He's gonna give you 3 interceptions, but he could also
that's
throw
true.
3-4 touchdowns on top of those same interceptions,
Yep,
and that's what makes him weird.
Yeah,
facts.
and they said, not sure the Colts record will be better with AR. Uh, my only thing with that is, and I'm not gonna say it could be better because games will play out differently, and the game plan will be different if you got AR in there versus
Completely
Mitchell.
different.
But I also look as if we're looking at everything being equal, some of those throws that Minshew throw or the time he sits in the pocket, AR is gonna take off. You know what I mean? So some of those negative plays, I would say with AR would possibly be positive plays. Granted, the playbook would be different, and they wouldn't be playing the same. And that's what I'm saying. With all things being equal, I think some of the turnovers that cost us some games, especially late in games, probably wouldn't happen with AR. But some of the throws that Minshew make that AR probably wouldn't make or some, so it could go both
Yeah,
ways. I
it's.
wouldn't say it would be tremendously better, but I say a game or two, I would say we could probably be, 8-5 versus 7-6, you know what I mean? Or something like that. Like it could be a game or two swing. That's all. Nothing crazy though. I
I
agree.
agree with
Um so yeah, man. To jump into our pick'ems. Oh no. Sorry, Ike, I'm clicking around too. This week was kind of
Yeah,
weird. This is probably the worst week I've seen Ike. He only won 4 games this week, man, which closed the gap.
I don't know.
Everybody
I don't
else
know what
won.
you
Everybody else picked eight winners. So granted, you had a lead big enough to kind of hold us off, but um, I forget what games kind of threw us off. Uh, Definitely the Kansas City game, everybody got wrong. The Detroit game, everybody got wrong. What else? The Steeler game, I don't think anybody picked the Steelers right. So it was a couple games that like most of us got wrong. but like me picking the Cowboys helped. It was just some weird games. But I was looking, I was like, only four for Ike? That's rare. But good, it could us back in contention.
We're all
Even
pretty close though. That's what's up.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even Justin bounced back. He picked 8 winners. So yeah, man, we in the wheelhouse to catch Ike, man. This last couple weeks, man. Get this nigga.
Do that if you want to.
Yeah, I do. All right, let's. I believe we can get your ass. Get your phones out. Let's get ready to pick this week. What is? I sound like something blowing up. Sorry, man. Outside my house is somebody moving or getting their roof
Probably
redone.
out there busting shots in
At
the air.
9 p.m.
Exactly, bro. That's what it sounds like. It's like all I hear is boom, boom. I'm like, what is that? It ain't the kids. All right, man. We got our game tomorrow.
Ghetto.
Game, game tomorrow night, man. Chargers and Raiders. Both 5-8. Neither one of them with starting QBs. Uh, talent wise, I mean, of course Chargers, but they've let us down before. I'm going Raiders
I'm
because, like
going
I said,
Chargers.
I'm off that train.
I mean, I am
Shit.
too. I don't think they're gonna lose
Raiders
every
as well.
game though. But yeah, I
Yeah,
ain't.
no, but oh, wait a minute. Quick update. Remember we were doing a Khalil Mack sack watch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's up to 16, leading the league. So that
Oh,
one game was 6. He's had 10 more over
I
the.
meant to bring that up a couple weeks ago because he
Yeah,
had like
I
a
just
two or
seen
three
it. They
sack
was just
game
kind
after
of
that.
like I just seen it on social media, and I was like, he's actually leading the league. You know what I mean? That's 6. Maybe got his mojo back. So
hey, they said he was going all pro off that one game. Like
off that
that's
one game, hey, that. I mean, he came back. He hogged Miles Garrett. He hogged T.J. Watt. All them guys. They all within one though. So he's at 16. I think T.J. Watt is at 15, and Miles Garrett is like at 14. So it's like they're all like very close. But he's currently leading. Next game we got Vikings and Bengals, 7-6. Both teams battling for playoff spots. Backup QBs again.
man.
This is tough. It's in Cincinnati if that matters to y'all. Vikings are used to playing in cold
Hey,
climate, but now
look,
they have a dome. I don't know whether make
I'm going with Diet Burrow, bro.
Diet, bro.
I'm gonna go with Vikings. I'm gonna go with the what they
That's
call him,
crazy.
the astronaut. What is he? Because
Nah, he's not even starting. Nick Mullins is starting.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Nick Mullins is starting.
I
Charlie
didn't know.
Miller the way was not playing.
Which might be bad news for the Bengals, bro. 'Cause, like we was talking about earlier, quarterbacks with no pressure, boy. Man, they be lighting our ass up. So I'm gonna go Bengals, but that could go either way. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Next game, Steelers Colts. Uh, another game that's just gonna be weird. I'm gonna pick the Colts, of course, but I just feel that's gonna be a weird game. It's in Indy.
I have no trust in Mitchell Trubisky.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Then
yeah.
their defense, like, just always play so good. Like,
I'm going Colts on that one.
yeah. Um, this is probably a very good game. These are all Saturday games. Sorry, Thursday was Chargers Raiders. Them last 3, so the Vikings, Bengals, Steelers, Colts, and Broncos, Lions. Now they're all Saturday games. So you got a
Does
one
anybody know why they're doing
because
that?
there's no more buys. So I think what they wanted to do is there's no good college football on. There's no
Yeah,
more
Okay.
that's what
buys,
college
and to
football
try to
is.
squeeze all those games into one week, you could kind of. I mean, in the one day, they was like we could kind of break them up. So you got
Okay.
the 1 p.m. game is Vikings Bengals, 4:30 game is Colts Steelers, and then the Saturday night game is Broncos Lions, which is probably the best game out of the 3. 7-6 Broncos, like we said earlier, trending up, and then you got the Lions, which we really don't know which Lions are going to show up. Um, it's in Detroit. I'm gonna go with the Lions, but I'm not confidently. Not confidently because the Broncos have been playing great.
I'm
Either
gonna go.
the Lions blow them out, but if the game is close, I can believe the Broncos can win a close game.
I took the Lions too, but I don't have any reason for it.
Yeah. So
I'm
who you
taking
going?
Broncos.
Taking Broncos? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not has nothing to say about that. I have nothing to say about that at all.
yeah, me either.
Um Falcons, Panthers. You gotta go
This
Falcons.
South is just terrible, bro.
Like both teams
You
are
said the
bad, but like
you said the Panthers and the
yeah,
Falcons.
yeah, man. The Panthers only
Yeah,
won one game. It's in Carolina.
Give me the Falcons.
Yeah,
you
I want.
sounded
He said
so upset by that
I
you had to
am.
say
That
that.
game is trash, bro.
it's a 1 o'clock game, so you can skip it. Bears, Browns. Bears are playing better. You want to go Browns, but is this the game that Flacco fall off on?
Flacco. That's what I was thinking too.
I'm trying to avoid calling him that.
I'm gonna go
I'm,
Browns
I'm gonna
on
go
that.
Browns because I think the Bears are playing for draft for draft position. Uh, Buccaneer. Okay, Buccaneers and Packers. NFC. Both teams are fighting for seventh. Well, no, the Buccaneers are at fourth. They're fighting for seventh. I'm gonna say that anyway because their records are the same. This is stupid. Um, Buccaneers coming off a win. Packers coming off a loss.
Hmm. Can I flip a coin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Just give me.
I'm gonna go Green Bay because I just think Jordan Love bounces back, and we kind of know what oh boy is, and I can't think of his name right now.
Baker?
Baker, yes, we kind of know what Baker is. It's in Green Bay too, so I do think weather will play a part in that. But yeah, I'm gonna go Green Bay. Next game you got Jets and Dolphins. Jets at 5-8, Dolphins 9-4. Uh,
Dolphins.
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna take the Dolphins. I
yeah.
wouldn't be
Not
surprised if they
confidently
lose.
though.
If Tyreek don't play, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose again.
Yep. Um, Giant Saints.
Mm.
I'm gonna go Giants. I'm like I said, I don't believe in the Saints.
I, I actually just put the Giants down.
Yeah,
I'll just go Saints, but I have no words for it.
yeah, yeah. I don't have nothing.
Jeez.
Texans
You,
Titans.
you sure these ain't them shitty bowl games that you was talking about earlier?
Man, like for real.
I'm gonna go Titans. I think I don't know, man. I know the Titans have been rolling. They don't won two in a row. I think. Like,
I'm gonna go Titans too.
yeah,
I don't even know if Homeboy's playing CJ Stroud.
yeah,
Oh shit, that changes things for me.
yeah. I'm definitely gonna go Titans.
I was leaning toward Texans until you said that.
Yeah, it's in Tennessee, which I don't think matters. But yeah, definitely going Titans. Just, of course, that'll help the Colts if they lose. Um, Chiefs and Patriots. I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah,
But
hell yeah.
yeah, you're saying hell yeah, but the Chiefs has not been a lock the past couple weeks,
Over the Patriots, bro.
That's the Patriots
bro.
stuff. Man.
That's what I'm saying. It is the Patriots though, but gosh, it's like when is it like when the Chiefs are gonna snap back to just being the Chiefs and quit playing these close games and like look efficient on offense? Like,
They're not.
gosh,
They also gonna lose early in the playoffs.
yeah. Yeah, if they keep this up, you are right. Niners and Cardinals, I don't think we need to really talk about that.
Bang bang.
Um, Commanders, Rams. I'm gonna go Rams just because the Rams are playing better and the Commanders are the Commanders.
Well said. Well said.
Cowboys, Bills. Now, this is kind of interesting. Cowboys have been playing great, of course. It's in Buffalo, which they have not been good on the road. Buffalo tends to play better at home than on the road, also. Is this that Dallas trap game? Is this the
Yep.
beginning of the Bills taking the AFC East, as we were stating earlier?
Could both be possibilities.
Uh, I'm pretty sure I said earlier in the show I was picking the Bills, so I'm sticking with that.
I am with you on that. I am going to also pick the Bills. I just yeah. Whenever Dallas get to riding too high, they usually get smacked in the mouth, and I think this is the game to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Um,
Bills.
Sunday night game, good game. Ravens Jaguars. I'm
Ravens.
going Ravens. Uh,
I also got the Ravens.
Jaguars haven't looked right since that Trevor Lawrence injury. Like he been acting like he okay, but they have not looked good. I don't think they've won since that ankle injury.
It's been one game, bro.
Yeah, but
Well,
say
I'm
that
just
was two
saying though.
games ago.
But I'm just saying though, like the backup won that game. You know what I mean?
Nah,
And
he lost. He lost it because he got
who?
hurt on Monday, right? Against us. Like at the end of the game, they lost that game, and then they went to
Oh, he did end up losing it. It was just close. And then yeah, they just lost.
where'd they go to this past Sunday?
Uh, the Browns, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
They
they
lost to
lost
the
that.
Browns. Yeah. So like I said, they haven't looked good since then. Um, so I'm definitely gonna go Ravens anyway, just because Ravens been playing good, and I don't think this is gonna come down to a fourth quarter situation. But this could be a playoff preview. So, and then last game on Monday night we have Eagles and Seahawks.
Eagles big
Um,
I also got the
they need it.
Eagles.
I'm
facts.
just gonna put it out
That
there.
puts
The Eagles need it.
that puts them back at the top of the division.
Yeah, they definitely need it. So yeah, man, that's pick'ems. Any final thoughts, man? We right at 1 hour and 1 minute, man. Look at us
I'm gonna
being
make
an
this
efficient
3.
program.
I got something. When are we gonna start talking about Popovich in the same realm that we put that people, not me, that we put Belichick in?
What you mean, same realm as
Like
firing?
Popovich fucking sucks now. Like 17 straight losses. I don't care what kind
Oh
of
yeah,
coach you.
well yeah.
If
Hmm.
you're a good coach, you don't lose 17 straight. Because at some point you out coach the other team, and he's not out coaching anybody right now. So like,
I'm yes,
when
but
is that conversation gonna start? It took Belichick what 3 or 4 years.
this will be the
Popovich has kind
third.
of been Popovich has kind of been on the down end for I don't know how many years it's been, but it might be time to start having that conversation and seeing what's what. But
Um, yes, I agree. I think they're both in the same boat.
I'm
And
such
when
a
I
sucker for. But my bad.
no,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm such a sucker for winning. I was telling somebody today. I was like, man, hell, if you know what I'm
Belichick
saying,
come
Marvin
available.
Lewis and Andy Dalton had got us 6 bowls, he could have coached the rest of his life. Like I wouldn't have cared. Like, and that's the same thing I was saying about Belichick. Like, man, you get your organizations 6 bowls in like one generation too. It wasn't like it was,
Mm.
it's one like generation.
In
Six.
20 years,
That's tough. Like, you almost deserve the right to coach until you say, "All right, I'm done."
that's
But
a
maybe he
bowl.
does.
That's a
Maybe
bowl
he does.
every. That's a bowl every 2 years,
Bro, that's crazy. He has.
almost, or
They have just
every
as
five,
many.
every
They have just as many
yeah,
bowls in
every
that
four
little
years.
era as any team combined.
Period.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
that's grounds for being able to coach until you say I'm cool.
yeah.
Same with
I
Popovich
think,
though. Like, but they're talking about getting rid of Belichick. When is the conversation going to start about okay, so what's going to happen with Popovich? What is he waiting on? He got the unicorn. Like, what is it? What's
but
happening?
do you give him time to develop the unicorn? Do you get time to see to put better
True, but build
players
a team
around him?
around them. Like, what's
No, I mean,
happening
no,
with?
no, no. I agree. No, the same. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They
Yeah,
both,
like
to me, are in the same boat. The same thing with Belichick. Like, I think first off, you take the GM job away from him and say, okay, just coach.
yeah, because Buddy's been having.
We'll bring somebody in to build the team. Of course, y'all gonna work together to build the type of team you want. But I think somebody else needs to deal with that, and you just solely focus on coaching. Just get back to the X's and O's. Don't worry about the Jims and Joes. Focus on the X's and O's.
I like that.
Um, and I think
I
Popovich kind of the same thing. It's like you get, like you say, you get the unicorn, but then how do I figure out? Okay, this is what the unicorn can do. I'm learning that now. and now what do I need to put around the unicorn?
But
I think that's at least 2 years, at
my
least.
my thing is this. Um, y'all have been on the down end for this. Ain't the first year that they've been kind of
No,
trash. Like
absolutely.
you should have been adding the unicorn to something that's already
Right.
something.
Something, right.
Like losing 17 straight games in no situation is okay. Like I
But
don't care if like your top three players are hurt. 17 straight is a lot of games.
yes, and then again, like this kind of takes me back to a conversation we was having before about these small market teams, and like if you don't draft well and you don't get guys in there and build a culture and have a winning culture, that it's hard to get guys to come there solo and you know what I mean and build around those stars. Like you
They've had
almost
a
have to
winning
draft
culture
them.
though. They
I
won
know,
like
but
5 rings in the last
but
20
all
years.
those guys were drafted, and then they brought in random guys to
Yeah,
support them.
they're still considered a small market team. So I mean,
That's what I'm
nobody's
saying.
giving
But my whole thing is everybody's really small market except for two teams. And one of those well, four teams.
yeah, but that's why those
Well,
two
15
teams
teams.
always at least get the
Both New
consideration for
York
free
teams ain't
agency.
shit. So I don't
So
I just don't put me and Vernon's had this conversation. Like, I don't put too much real estate in that small market crap. Like, bruh, I personally don't. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. There's only
and I mean, but they've never
everybody's
really
small
got
market.
people
Every
to go
90%,
there for.
95% of the teams
Like
are small market. Like
they've never really got people to go there. Like they never really got a free agent
he only
acquisition. So I'm
gets
not
certain kind
expecting
of
them to
people
get
though.
one.
He only like
Now,
Popovich is
well, I
actually
mean,
really similar to Belichick because Belichick only really gets one type of person too. They only really it's like they only have eyes for a certain type of player. Like and
so
I mean it's
I'm
worked
not
for
going to
him in
put
the
him in the same
past, but
boat as Belichick yet because he does have Wimby. We'll see what he does with Wimby. If Wimby it turns
And
out
that's
to
what I'm
be
saying. In basketball, it
Matt
takes more
Jones,
17
time.
straight L
like
17
then
straight L's is a lot of losses. I don't care if us three is out there, bro. That's a lot of losses in a
Yeah.
row. That's crazy. At some point
yeah, I mean
gotta
it
be able
is.
to you gotta be able to draw up something to scheme something to get 3 out of those 17 games, bro. Like
Now,
that's
what I
how
would say is
man.
what I'm worried about is has he lost? Like, is he too far? Like, too old
Has he
to the
lost the
point
Yeah,
where
team?
yeah, he's
he's
like mid
lost touch
seventies.
with the
70s
younger
definitely
players?
older.
You know what I'm saying, and that may be that they don't come in and look at him the same as those previous generation players who did look at him as a legendary coach.
He's
And
74 years
one
old, man.
one is that his fault because a lot of young niggas just they don't come in with a ton of respect for overall history in general, and this is just young like people in general. Like I fucking hate to see that I'm not my ancestor shit. That shit pisses me off because one, my ancestors threw hands, so if yours didn't, that's your family shit. But he may be a little bit too far removed.
My
So
ancestors threw hands.
So he may be
That's
a little bit too
crazy.
far removed, but because he has one, be like I'm gonna at least give him another year and a half to see what he does with that, and then what he can put around when if when we can draw in any type of free agents or how they do in the draft. That's typically how they've been successful. But if we're looking at the same type of thing this time next year, I'm probably going to start to turn that corner. Like, all right,
Because
he might
now
be
you
Belichick.
probably gonna have two top five picks. So I'm just saying, because then this year they're probably gonna be there too if they continue on this path, which I don't foresee them just at some point that streak will have to stop. They will pull one out. I'm hoping. I'm
I mean,
guessing.
they'll be
Just an
that
odds.
ping pong ball list definitely. They'll
Yeah, that's what
definitely
I'm
be in the
saying.
ping
So
pong
they're
ball.
probably gonna have a top five pick this year anyway, coming up. So yeah, that's what I said. I figure like they're in the same boat. I think Belichick gets a little more time just because in football and the respect and again like you GM and coach, you can easily just take away one of those and say, okay, you can stay GM and we're bringing another coach. Vice versa, you pick.
I can
You know
see
what
him
I'm saying?
moving into that type of role. I can see that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all right, we're gonna bring in another coach. We'll keep you on staff because his son coaches with him too. Like, we'll keep your son on. You know what I mean? And you can kind of be like a consultant to the coaches and GM. You know what I mean? Whatever. I say do that, and then like I said with Popovich, you just kind of got to give the young guys time to pan out too. Like you said, you're not bringing no free agents there. Nobody's signing there. That's just like I said, just if
And
history
that's
serves us correctly.
that's another difference I would say is like Belichick spent a lot of money a couple years ago on players, like and went out
And
and
they made the
still
playoffs.
wasn't.
But even
They
that was
weren't good, but they made the
questionable
But
playoffs.
but
because didn't
but,
he get
but
like
Pop
3
hasn't had that
times?
opportunity.
That's
Was
true.
that?
Now I was saying like I remember when he spent all that money, but didn't he like get like 3 tight ends or something?
He did overpay two
He
tight ends.
spent money on Hunter Henry and was it Delanie Walker? I believe.
No, not
Yeah,
Was
Walker.
the other one that he?
It wasn't Walker. It
Who was
was
the other one? That he
Hunter Henry and I think he's in
I
Hunter
could have
Henry.
swore it was 3. Maybe they already had like a decent tight end too. But at one point, I
Gosh, I
think
can't
they had
remember the other.
3
They
tight
signed
ends.
two
I know it
tight
was
ends
at
though,
least two, and then they spent top dollar for like to Kendrick Bourne. And so I mean, but he at least went out and spent money on people
and
he thought
Nelson
was going to be good.
Aguilar
Yeah,
was
for
another
his
one.
like
But the decisions were
Pop,
just
Pop,
wow. Like, bro, why are you getting
yeah.
these guys? Or why are you
But
Like I
Pop
giving
said, they
hasn't
these
had
guys?
that type of opportunity, is what I'm saying.
exactly like you never think about San Antonio when free agency pop around. Like, all right, who is San Antonio gonna go get? You don't think about it. Like they're never that name in the pot. You always hear about the LAs, the Golden States, the Chicago's, the New Yorks, the Miamis. Like those are the Clippers. You know what I mean? Those are the teams you always hear in the mix. And most of the time, and now you could say Phoenix now, but those are most of the time the teams that are in the mix to get the big names because they're the big market teams again. Like and even like Dallas and you can even say Houston sometimes, but they're always in the mix because that's destinations where people want to be. Um, so
And I mean, the Spurs interviewed me for a job like 10, 11 years ago and didn't give it to me. So I mean, they can burn for all I care,
Mhm.
personally.
uh, yeah, or nah, cause she's coaching the LA the Las Vegas Aces now. Cause then they have old girl. What was it
Becky Ham
Becky
or
Ham? Oh, was it Becky Hammond? No, it was
Hammond.
Hammond. Something like that. That was
Yeah.
on her. That was on his staff, and they were trying to talk about she could possibly be the first woman coach in men's basketball.
Hmm.
So but she ended up going to the WNBA. But yeah, no, man. I do think you're right in the sentiment that the conversations need to start, being had. I don't think either one of them is on the chopping block yet because I mean you got 5 titles with one, 6 with the other. Like I think you kind of like you said, you let those guys ride out.
I think the Belichick one is real. I
Oh
seen
no,
a
yeah, the
hey that said
Belichick one is.
No,
I
they've
think
been
that they're
talking about no.
the
I've
same
been
as
hearing the
mutual
rumblings.
now, but give Pop a little more time, right? And then we'll start the sideline in about a year or so.
I agree. Well, if that's all, gents, man, it's been a pleasure again. See
always.
y'all next. Well, Ike, we will not see you next week, unfortunately.
No, man,
Uh,
we'll not be
next couple
available,
weeks
unfortunately.
next couple weeks we'll be without Ike. But I'm gonna try to see if we can get some substitutes, man. We're losing too many people, Jared. Man, we might have to get a sub in here or something, man.
Yeah, the next 2 weeks off might not be too bad.
Here y'all go, man.
Yeah. Let me
We're gonna
check
take the holiday. It doesn't matter to me,
let me check my PTO balance real quick. I'll
man.
get back.
It's up to
He
y'all.
said he got 16 hours exactly.
Look, it's
Yeah.
up to y'all. Y'all let me
Let me
know.
see what I got in the bank, and I'll holler. Nah, it's whatever. If we come to agreement on something cool, if
Yeah,
we
I
get
got
a
a couple
couple people
guys in the
cool.
city that I was thinking about that we could possibly bring it. And I mean, we always got Jonathan. We always got Crossroads in our back pocket. You know what I mean? Nonetheless,
Call in
but
reserves, man.
yeah, man,
Sometimes you got to put
Colin,
the
you
reserves in
got
the
to put.
game,
Hey,
man.
man, sometimes you got to bring the pine in. But this has been the Epic Podcast, man. We will see y'all next week, maybe.
Yo,